Hi guys, welcome back again to my channel. It's a girl journey. Today I'll be showing you how to cut and sew this beautiful overbust corset. So I actually made it easy here, so stay tuned as we proceed to the tutorial. So I made use of 1 yard of damask and 1 yard of cotton lining, and this does not actually have side joining, so I made it an inseam stitches. So this is how the inside is looking like. Does not have joining or whatever. So let's dive into the tutorial. The first thing I'll be marking is the vertical measurements from shoulder to chest line, which is 8 inches, nipple point 10 inches, underbust 13 inches, half length 15.5 inches. Then the full length I'm making use of is my top length, which is 25 inches. So the shoulder I'm making use of is 7.5 inches. I'll be inserting that shoulder measurement here on the chest line. I'm going to roll it this way. So after which I'm going to insert the neck width of 3 inches and neck depth of 3 inches. So we will not be making use of this neck, but I'm just drafting a basic bodice. So on the shoulder I'll be coming down by 1 inch for the shoulder slant. I'm going to connect it to the neck width. So the next thing, I'm going to divide the remaining shoulder armhole into two. The midpoint I will come in by half of an inch. Then on the chest line I will be inserting my bust measurement divided by 4. Bust measurement divided by 4, I'll be inserting it here without any allowance, please. So I'm going to connect the lines, the dots together. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is to insert the body measurements plus the dart intake. So on the chest line I'll be making use of 1 inch of dart intake. So my body measurements divided by 4, then plus 1 inch for the dart intake. The bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch for dart intake. So under bust I'll be inserting round under bust divided by 4 plus 2 inches, because I'll be making use of 2 inches of that intake. So on the waistline, my waist divided by 4, then plus 1 inch, though I'll be making use of 2 inches, but I want to use one as a snatching effect. And by the time you times 1 into 4, that is, I'm minusing 4 inches from my accurate waist measurement. So on the hip, on the full length, I'll be inserting my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 2 inches, because I'll be making use of 2 inches that intake. Please, hope you understand what I did on the waist. On the waist I only inserted waist measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch, though I will be making use of 2 inches, but the remaining one I'm going to use it to snatch the waist. So I'll be inserting the bust dart, but that will be later. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to, at the bust point, insert my bust span, which is nipple to nipple. Then at the full length I'll be minusing it 1.5 inches. which I'll be left with 2.5 inches. The reason why I'm minusing it 1.5 because the dart line is a kind of slanty, but if you want to make yours to be straight, as in you want your boning case to be straight, you make it straight. So on the shoulder, I'll be dividing my shoulder, the remaining shoulder, into two. The midpoint, I'm going to indicate the midpoint, then I'll connect it to the bust point. So I'll go ahead and blend it though. On the under bust line, I'll be going in and out with 1 inch for the dart intake, 1 inch on the both sides, 1 inch outwards and 1 inch inwards. So I'm connecting the dots together. So I will make use of my curve ruler here. I'll connect it to the nipple points, from the under bust to the nipple points. So this is what we have now. The next thing I'm going to do now is to insert the bust dart. The bust dart is the difference between your front length and the back length, that is from your shoulder to waist. The difference between my front and back is 1 inch, so that's why I came down by 1 inch. If yours is 1.5 2 inches, this is the place to insert it now. So that 1 inch, I just divided it into two, but this is not necessary anyway. The second line in the middle is not really necessary. So the distance between my nipple point to my underbust is 3 inches, but I'll be adding plus half of an inch because I want it to be a kind of covered. So I'm coming up by 3.5 inches. This line now will serve as the overbust line. This is overbust line. So you can come up by any inches of your choice, but I came up by 3.5 inches. So I'm going to slash the bust that area and the shoulder that area, but that will be one after the other. So on this overbust line, I'll be tightening my overbust with half of an inch on the both side. So here you can make use of 0.5 0.7. So I'm making use of 0.5 because I'm a kind of medium size breast. So I'll connect that 0.5 to bust point. So just allow your ruler to flow as far as it's touching the 0.5 and the bust point. Allow it to flow to the shoulder area. So I'm going to slash here, but that will be later. This part I will not be making use of it. So the dart intake on the overbust is 1 inch, that is half of an inch on the both side, 1 inch. I'll be coming out by 1 inch on the shoulder line. So this 1 inch that I came out by, I'll be reconnecting it to the armhole. But let me first of all cut this out so that I will be able to slash the bust points. So the reason why I'm slashing this is to allow me to overlap the shoulder whenever I want to overlap the shoulder, and also allow me to get some accurate measurements that I'll be needing. So this is how it will be at the end of the day. But before that nipple point will be relaxed, you have to slash the shoulder part also. You slash till you reach the nipple point. So now, as you can see, the nipple point area is now relaxed because the shoulder is open now. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to connect the 1 inch back to the armhole. The 1 inch that I came out by on the shoulder line, I'm going to connect it back to the armhole. That is the chest line. So the next thing we are going to do now is to curve the overbust line. So for the overbust line, I came up on the chest line by 0.5 inches. So at this point you can come up by 1 inch, 0.7, 0.5, but I'm making use of 0.5 here. So from here now, I'll connect it to, I reach half of my armhole. That is the midpoint of my armhole. I'm allowing the ruler to flow to that half of my armhole. So by the time you close these lines up, you will notice that one is now on top of the other one. That is, one is under and one is on top. By the time you fold it this way, this is what I mean. This is under while this is on top. They are not blending, they are not together. So we go back with the curve ruler to blend the line. So when you blend the line, two of them will be at the same point. If you did not blend the line, the middle pattern will be shorter than the side pattern. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to insert another dart. So I insert another dart by dividing the remaining of my waist into two. Then at the full length part, I came out by 2 inches also, because all the dart lines are slanty, they are not straight. You can make yours to be straight, but the beauty of this top is to have a slant boning line. So now I'm gumming the bust dart down. It have done its purpose. So on the waistline, I'll be coming in and out by 0.2 inches. I don't want it to be too snatchy because I've already minused 4 inches from my waist. So if you want it more snatchy, you can come out by 0.5 inches. Then you connect it this way. So we are done with the front pattern. I'm going to cut it out now. Remember, this is the line we are going with, the up one, not the down one. And the new armhole also, remember these lines, please. So I'm going to open this part up to cut out the dart intakes. So this is how they are looking like now. I'm going to label it so that I will not get confused. F1, F2, F3. You can label with your choice of letters. So for this top, I don't want it to reach my boot side, so I'll be coming up by 2 inches. I'll be coming up by 2 inches because I don't want it to be actually where my top length used to be, so that it will enable me to sit comfortably. So I'm going to cut these parts out. You can actually leave it at your top length. You can cut it, you can come up by 1 inch, 2 inches at most. So here I'll be making this part to be a curvy also. I came up by 1.5 inches. I don't want it to be straight this way. I want it to be a bit curvy. So we are done with the front. We'll proceed to the back. So for the back, I've already labeled the horizontal and the vertical lines. So for the back, I'm going to minus 4 inches at the top, that is at the chest line, then 1 inch on the full length part, because I don't want the back to be straight also. I want it to be slanting. So the next thing, at the under bust, I'll be dividing what I have there into 2. That place I'll be inserting the new dart line. So actually the back, you can make your back dart line to be straight or slanting depending on your choice. So for the back pattern, I minused 1 inch because 1 inch is shorter than my front pattern because of the bust dart intake. Remember, bust dart intake is 1 inch, so that 1 inch is minus from the back pattern. So on the waistline, I came in by half of an inch. You can choose to connect that half of an inch to the bust point before slanting, but I'm inserting normal dart here. So this 1 inch will serve as boning casing and the eyelets. This is the boning casing and the eyelet. At this point, you can actually make use of, as in, make your favorite type of boning casing and eyelet casing. And that is it for the back pattern. The back is actually easy. So the next thing, I'll be making the back side also to be slanting so that it will match the front. So I came up by 1.5 inches like I did at the front. I curve it. So I've done cutting the fabric and the lining. At the side I added 1 inch at the side front and at the side back. So the other parts I added 1/2 inch that I will be using to join each of them. Both at the down part I added 1/2 inch, at the up part I added 1/2 inch, except at the armhole part. I did not add any inches at the armhole part. I don't like adding inches at the armhole part. So this is it, and this is the lining. I short the lining by 1/2 inch because I will not be piping the down part. I'll be turning it out with the lining. So for the center F1 and F2, I'll be using them to cut out the wording that I'll be used to pad the breast parts. So I'm cutting exactly under bust line for the F1 and F2. So I've cut the wording. I added exactly inches I added for the joining, only the joining part, that is the side part. I did not add at the up and at the down parts. So the wording I minus 1 inch at the up so that it will enable me to turn the main fabric smoothly. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to join the F1 and F2. I'm going to join them. I've done joining them. The next thing I'm going to join again is the F3, that is the side one. So I've done joining the whole front. I'll go ahead and iron seam open at the bust points. I'm making use of tailor's arm. I iron everything seam open so that I will have a smooth result. So this is the front lining. The next thing is to cage. This I'm just drawing out the lines I'll be using to cage it. The caging line will stop at the wording line. It will not extend that wording. So at this point you can draw any type of your caging pattern. So this is the one I'll be making use of. The light is reflecting on the lining. So here I'm done caging the bust parts. This is how it's looking like. After caging, please try and iron it out so that you have a smooth and a curvy bust. So for the front main material, I'll be joining the front. So I've done joining the front. The next thing is to join the back. Yes, you heard me right. I'll be joining the back. So I've done joining the back. Now I'll be joining the front and the back. Yes, so I will join the sides with the inches that I added. So I've done joining the front and back, and I iron the whole seam open. At the side joining, I notched it so that I will have a relaxed joining also at the side. So for the caging, after caging, I'm going to make use of this fiber. I will not be making use of any bra cup or whatsoever. I'll be making use of this fiber to cover the bust caging and to make it to be more firm. So I'm going to sew it this way at the edge, at the tip of the caging. So here I've done sewing it down, as you can see the line. So the next thing I'm going to do is to trim out the excess. So after trimming out the excess, please remember to join the back lining to the front also. I forgot to film that part. I did exactly what I did on the main fabric. I notched the same part so that I will have a relaxed surface there. So the next thing is to iron the fiber down. So after that, the next thing is to prepare my boning. So I'll be making use of this to cover it as a boning case. This is the fabric I'll be using for the boning part. I'm making use of a 0.5 inches boning. It's a tiny one. So this is how I'll be covering the boning with the fabric before attaching. So after I fix it this way, I'm going to fold it this way, then join without touching the boning, after which I'll flip it the other side, then I will sew on top of the boning but on the tip. So I'm done joining everything now. The next thing is to iron it out. After ironing it out, you make use of tailor's arm here. So but before that, I'll go ahead and join the lining to the fabric. I'm going to join the up parts and the armhole parts. So I've done joining them. I'll go ahead and notch them. After notching, I will turn it out this way. So this is it. I've turned this part, remaining this part remaining this part. So after turning them out, I went ahead to stitch the down part. Remember, I told you at the initial time that I short the lining by 1/2 inch, which I'll be using to turn the down parts. If you don't want to turn your down parts, You can actually use whatever, well, be it the normal fabric or the one that you use for the casing, for the boning casing, to pipe the damp parts, whichever you like. So I've done turning it out. The next thing is to iron everything out. On this particular project, you need more of ironing. So this is how it's looking like now. So after which you are going to add your eyelet casing, remember. And this is my results. Please, if you find this video helpful, like and share. Also subscribe and turn on your notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime I upload a new video. Thank you.